Good day. Welcome to another episode of Freedom on Fire on BOBTV. How are you doing today? Oh, just going to go over some news today. I am a WWE fan at heart. I've been raised up on wrestling, and I love wrestling. But when I hear stories like this, it really hurt my heart. Now, you got to understand, wrestlers are regular people just like you and I. They have relationships. They go through ups and downs in their relationships. But sometimes people could take it a little too far. Now, this is from Newsweek magazine. Newsweek. I kind of trust Newsweek a little more than some of the other magazines out there. I'm very hard on Washington Post. But let's read this story about Mr. Swan. All right. Professional wrestling organization WWE said it has suspended one of his stars, Rick Swan, Sunday after he was arrested on charges of battery and false imprisonment. The 26-year-old wrestler, a former WWE Cruiserweight champion, was arrested Saturday in Gainesville, Florida, after police were called to a domestic incident between Swan and his wife, Vanara Riggs, also a professional wrestler who goes by the stage name of Sue Young. According to the police report, Swan and Riggs got into an argument while driving. Riggs, an independent wrestler, had just competed at an event, and Swan was critical of her performance. The report says that Riggs feared the argument would get heated and she got out of the car. All right. Now, Swan allegedly followed his wife out of the car and yelled at her to get back in the vehicle, then placed her in a headlock and forcibly returned her to the car. An eyewitness said Riggs was then seen banging on the window of the car and yelling for help. Riggs told police she was afraid of Swan because he has a temper sometimes. She said she feared the argument would escalate to physical violence or more. After being detained, Swan denied physically forcing Riggs back into the car. On Sunday, WWE said in a statement, WWE has zero tolerance for matters involving domestic violence, and per our policy, Rick Swan, which most of us call Rick Swan, has been suspended indefinitely following his arrest. The police report says Swan and Riggs have been married for 9 months and been together for over 5 years. Swan joined the WWE in the summer of 2016 for his cruiserweight division, which featured wrestlers under 205 pounds, the weight I would love to be. Until his suspension, the wrestler was a regular on the show's Monday Night Raw and 205 Live. Riggs was briefly contracted to the WWE in 2010 under the name of Sonya. All right, so that's the end of this. I think that's the end. All right, so here's the deal. The WWE and a lot of wrestling organization got a huge smeared when very talented wrestler by the name of Chris Benoit allegedly was addicted to drugs and addicted to steroids and things like that, and they say it affected his brain, and he went on a rampage, killing his wife, who used to be a wrestler, and their son, their wonderful, beautiful boy. And it was a horrific scene. Chris hung himself with his weights after slaughtering his wife, who was a great wrestler herself and been in the game for a while, and the son that they had together. Now, the story between him and his wife goes way far back to another wrestler by the name of Kevin Sullivan, who his character was tied to the cult, and she was part of his cult. His character was more like was based off Charlie Manson. And you look it up, you'll be able to understand that. Now, the way the murder happened resembled cultist type stuff. But I'm going a little too far. WWE said they decided not to have a no-tolerance policy after that. That literally embarrassed the WWE. WWE put their title on this guy. This guy was an amazing wrestler for his stature and his size. And they called him the Crippler Benoit. And so they're not going to play when it comes to violence. Now, here's the deal. People are innocent to proven guilty. Nobody actually saw Rick Swan put him in the headlock. It's her word versus his. And I've been in a domestic violence relationship myself, so I understand what it's like to try to state your claim and you still look like you're the bad guy. In my situation, my wife, my first wife, was very, very violent, and she will tell you that and agreed to that. She's changed a whole lot. We're best of friends now, but she was very violent during that time, and every time I called the police or said something, they looked at me like I'm crazy. Well, in this case, she's working for a different organization. He's working for WWE. He went to support her. I guess her match sucked. He's going to be critical because, hey, I should know. I work for the elite brand. You work for an under brand. And you need to listen to me, or you need to do better because this sucks. So you know how some people are very hard and condescending when it comes to their critique, especially when it comes from somebody that you love, somebody who you're married to, somebody who you live with, who you share your life with. So in that, they said that Rick Swan put her in a headlock. Now, Rick, you can say all you want to say, and you could cuss, you can even call people names. I don't suggest that because verbal abuse is just as bad as physical abuse. But once you put your hands on her, that's a different story. I don't think nobody, man or woman, should put their hand on their spouse or their significant other. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that as a man, it's different. You should just walk away. No, in those situations, as a man that was physically abused, try my best not to knock somebody out. Now, don't get me wrong. I could have overpowered her and beat the crap out of her. It would have been a good fight because she could fight. But I could have did that, but I choose not to do that because ultimately it's going to make me look bad if I did. Even when I did fight back, I still end up looking like the bad one. Either I look weak or people didn't believe that she was dominating me versus me dominating her. And sometimes women will act like you beat them. Oh, he hit me and you ain't do nothing. Who are they going to believe? So the bottom line is this thing's going to go to trial. WWE is right for suspending him. I don't know about the indefinitely thing because, like I said, there's a court of opinion and a court of opinion and a court of law. Who knows if this is true or not? It's basically he say, she say. She say she do fear him. My thing is, if you feared him, you've been together for over 5 years. You didn't know this guy was like that. You know, so if he did grab her by the headlock, if he did talk to her to the point where she felt small, he is wrong. That is abuse. And nobody, man or woman, should be able to go through that. Even the women who talk men down and make them smell small and physically abuse them, take a pot or a pan and hit them and throw it, that's wrong. It's no different. It's no different. So WWE was rightfully to suspend him indefinitely. I don't know. That should be able to go to a court of law and be tried. And then if he's proven that, let's say she made it up, she confessed it, and you know, but yet sometimes people don't believe a woman when they confess that they just made it up. They was getting back at them and things like that. They look at the woman and say, oh, she's just saying that because she's trying to cover up for the guy. No, in some cases, not all cases, some cases it's true. Some women try to cover up for the guy, but in some cases, some women do start stuff like that just to get back at the man and make him look bad, because the way society is the man could never look like he's the victim. Men never look like they're victims. Women can easily look like they're victims. Very easy. And most of the time they are. Sometimes they're not. So being unfair, I don't think the WWE should have suspended him indefinitely. There are things that you can do to get help if you have a temper. You don't know what it could be. It could be some medication that he need to be on that will kind of calm him down. He could be bipolar. I mean, he could just have an aggressive streak. Sometimes taking performance enhancement drugs increase your aggressiveness streak. That's what led to Chris Benoit killing his family. So indefinitely, I don't know. They didn't say he was fired from the WWE. He just suspended, which means that this guy is going to suffer financially and not be able to do his job. And it's going to ultimately hurt her, both of them as a family. And so to me, I think he should be indefinitely with limited pay. I think he should go on the road and still work and still pay him. He just shouldn't be able to wrestle until these things smooth out. So I'm BOBTV. That's my commentary on this particular subject. Physical abuse is nothing to play with, and it's a manipulating game most of the time. It's either the man manipulating or the women manipulating, and somebody end up getting hurt. And the bottom line is, you're married, you can work these things out, you can seek help, but to indefinitely or permanently suspend somebody, I don't think that should be done. It should be you're suspended until you get to the bottom of this. Still put the guy to work. Just don't give him the limelight. Just get him away out of the limelight. Put him in the back working on something until we can work through these things and possibly get him back on the roster. Very, very talented wrestler, and I hope that they can kind of work this thing through. Okay, I'm BOBTV, Freedom on Fire. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching the webcast. By all means, make sure you like, subscribe, and share these videos. Go to YouTube right now and hit the notification button and hit the subscribe. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, by all means, there's a Patreon link. I will put a PayPal link, and the money toward that goes toward equipment, things like that. And last but not least, make sure you look at two sections down below. One is called Get to Know LS, the membership. The other one is Get to Know LS, the opportunity. What do you mean LS? LS is a program that called LegalShield that I am an independent representative of. It has not, that company has nothing to do with my views. I fell in love with this program about a decade ago. I've been doing this for over a decade, offering the services to people to benefit and connecting people to the services, putting them in a position where equal justice under the law is not just on the Supreme Court building. It's actually becoming a reality in their lives by having this memberships. And with this organization, not only will you be able to know about your rights in a certain area, but you'll know about how to exert and execute your right with the power of attorney, top-rated attorney, backing you no matter where you go, without worrying about all this money coming out your pocket and things like that. So get to know LS, the member, financially. You can help contribute to this program by becoming a member. Some of the proceeds of being a member of LS goes toward Freedom on Fire and the Rob Report. I'm Robert BOBTV Brown. I thank you for being a huge support to what we do here. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.